If you want to learn MySQL and PHP, then follow along with me as I redo this nutrition tracker, but this time I will use real data instead of the made-up data that you see on the table to the left of the page. Now the data we will be tracking will be real data that we get from this website. So for example, if we find a food group, this will be its name. So we would store that in the database and then we would get its metadata. So what I mean by metadata is down here inside the nutrition facts we have total fat. Now for this food group it's 27 grams. We would enter that into the database and create some functionality that converts that to calories, because fat has 9 calories per gram. So also down here in total carbohydrates we have 36 grams, but carbohydrates has 4 calories per gram and protein also has 4 calories per gram. This is information that is very important to a dietitian. Sodium is also important, cholesterol is important. We're going to store all this stuff in a database using an HTML form and PHP to connect to the database. So what we will learn is CRUD. The C in CRUD stands for create, the R stands for read, the U stands for update, and the D stands for delete, sometimes also destroy. So let's start out with CRUD. Let me show you what I mean by CRUD. So just as an example, this is the prototype. I'm going to perform CRUD. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and click the add button, and then I'm going to type the name. I'm going to type created record. Now I'm going to give it some values, carbs. I'm going to give them all even numbers. Then I'm going to click save. Now I just created a record called created record, and you can see it down here. That means that's the R in CRUD is when we read it. Also you can see it right here. So the C in CRUD means it's when we create the record. The R is when we read the record. Now the U is for updating the record. So right now the row with created record has that style because I'm hovering my mouse over it. But if I click on that row, it gets a different style and an edit form pops up, well populated with all the data in our row. So we have created record. Let's change that to updated record because the U stands for updated. Now let's also update some of our carbs, our fat. We'll just use the spinner number. We'll give them kind of odd numbers. And then click save. And now we have different metadata. In other words, we updated our record. That's the U in CRUD. Now, let's delete that record. So I'm going to go up here and click on the record I want to delete, and I'm going to go down here, click delete. And you see, are you sure you want to delete ice cream cone? No, I don't want to delete ice cream cone. I must have clicked on the wrong record. So whichever one you click on, the metadata of that record will populate the form so that we can perform whatever action we want to. So in this case, let's delete the created record. So I'm going to go up and click created record. Now it says, are you sure you want to delete created record? So I'm going to click yes, and that record is no longer available because it's deleted. That's the delete in CRUD, and that completes our discussion of CRUD. So now, remember, this is just a prototype of what we will be doing. Mostly we're going to focus on these 3 buttons. We're going to add, edit, and then we're going to filter this record set right here. What you see on the right, this chart here, that's a D3 representation of the data in the database. But there's other ways to represent the data. So we're going to be focusing mostly on the table to the left. Now, this is where we're going to start. Now, this right here is on my website. So go to clerkinthecloud.com/nutritiontracker/meals.php. So you can get the starting code from here. Just go up here and click the fast food nutrition tracker. And what you will get is a zip folder downloaded. So go and after it downloads, just extract it. So I'll do it however you need to do it and put it wherever you want. I'm going to put mine in my htdocspublic.html. So I'm going to open it up. Okay, so now I got to go to the browser and find this. So now this is the page on the live server. So I'm going to need to type in that URL. It's localhost public_HTML, right? And it's right here. Okay, so that's what I have on my website. So we have the forms, we have the filter forms, the add form, and the edit form. And that's pretty much all we have right now. So what we're going to do is add some PHP to this form and create our CRUD. We're going to add edit records, and we will create a fast food nutrient tracker. Okay, so to follow along in this course, what you will need to know is basic HTML, CSS, and a little bit of JavaScript or jQuery. So this is where we're going to start. Obviously, there's already some CSS and JavaScript linked to this page right here. You can change any of the CSS. Feel free to do it however you want. Just make it work. And if you change anything in the JavaScript or CSS and you break it, you have to fix it. But we're going to start right here. You know how to get the code. Once you get it in your server, then we're ready to go. We're ready to start adding some PHP. Now, what you will need is a PHPMyAdmin. This is what PHPMyAdmin is. This PHPMyAdmin comes whenever you download XAMPP or WAMP or probably any other server. You have to have a server on your computer, on your hard drive, in order to follow along. If you don't have this downloaded, there is a link in the description below referencing a YouTube video that will show you how to easily download the XAMPP server or the WAMP server. It's easy to do. Once you get this downloaded, then you are ready to go. So get this code for this page and we'll be ready to go. Also, I have to say that it is very important that you be able to think logically. In other words, conditional thinking. You have to be able to think, if something, then something else. If this, then this. That's very important in all kinds of programming, whether it's PHP, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, or just plain old living. You have to be able to think if, then, else, if, then, else. So anyway, thanks for watching, and if you want, subscribe to my channel. That way, when I make these videos, you'll be notified. In the next video, we will start connecting. We'll create a database and create the connect code to that database. So anyway, hope to see you soon in the next video.